Caitlin Clark wasn't just another rookie entering the WNBA. She was a lightning bolt the league had been waiting for, the spark that reignited arenas that once sat half empty. Before her arrival, the WNBA was bleeding financially, struggling to capture the nation's attention despite decades of effort. But with one draft pick, everything changed. A league once written off suddenly had a new face, a new energy, and a new savior. Yet with that salvation came a dangerous dependency. The chilling question lingered. Had the WNBA placed its entire survival on one young star? From the very beginning, Clark shattered every expectation. She didn't just play. She rewrote the record books. Most points by a rookie. Most assists by a rookie. The most double-doubles ever recorded by a guard in her first year. These weren't just impressive achievements. They were groundbreaking firsts that even seasoned veterans had never reached. Every deep three-point shot from the logo, every impossible pass that left defenders scrambling. Clark wasn't simply a player anymore. She was a phenomenon. And with that phenomenon came money, ratings, and controversy the league had never experienced before. League offices, once quiet holes of missed opportunities and unanswered calls, suddenly roared with life. Clark was everywhere. Highlight reels across social media, primetime slots on national television, sold-out arenas from coast to coast. But behind the celebrations, whispers grew louder. Executives weren't only thrilled about Clark's arrival, they were planning something. Reports suggested league insiders were laying the groundwork for a bigger story. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever were destined for the 2025 finals. To skeptics, it smelled like manipulation. The numbers alone told the story of her unmatched impact. Before Clark, Indiana's home games barely drew 4,200 fans, among the lowest in the league. After Clark, the average exploded to 17,000 a night, 4 times the previous attendance. Tickets that once went unsold were suddenly being resold for hundreds of dollars. Across the WNBA, ticket sales rose by 93% in 2024, forcing teams to move into larger arenas just to meet demand. Clark had turned empty seats into gold mines overnight. Television executives were stunned. Her debut game drew 2.2 million viewers, the most-watched WNBA game in over 20 years. ESPN, ABC, and streaming platforms immediately wanted more. Nielsen reported ESPN's WNBA rating skyrocketed 170%, while other networks saw a 133% rise. Then came the real bombshell. Clark's presence helped secure a $2.2 billion media deal, negotiated alongside the NBA's rights package. Billions of dollars, all tied to one rookie. The WNBA had struck oil, but it was oil buried beneath a fragile foundation. The Fever's playoff run only amplified the phenomenon. Clark carried Indiana through must-watch games, pulling an average of 2.5 million viewers, numbers usually reserved for the NBA Finals, not WNBA quarterfinals. But as quickly as the storm arrived, it faded. Indiana was eliminated, and Clark was out. The effect was immediate and brutal. Attendance dropped sharply. Playoff games without her barely drew 929,000 viewers, a fall of more than 60%. Overnight, the league's golden ticket was gone, leaving executives staring at half-empty arenas and sinking ratings. That collapse sparked something even more dangerous than dwindling numbers: suspicion. If Caitlin Clark was the only thing keeping the WNBA alive, just how far would the league go to keep her at the center of it all? ChatGPT said, rumors began swirling of referees being pressured, schedules being manipulated, and matchups being arranged to maximize Caitlin Clark's exposure. Sports media voices like Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless fueled the fire, openly questioning whether the league could risk another early elimination. If Clark went down, did the WNBA go down with her? The whispers grew louder. Was the game itself being bent to protect its brightest star? For longtime WNBA fans, it was a nightmare scenario. They had fought for years to elevate women's basketball, demanding recognition for players like A.J.A. Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and Sabrina Ionescu. Yet suddenly, all attention, all advertising, and every primetime slot revolved around Caitlin Clark. Was it fair? Was it honest? To her supporters, Clark was a generational talent who deserved every ounce of spotlight. To her detractors, she had become a symbol of imbalance, a league willing to sacrifice fairness and history to worship at the altar of a rookie. And that resentment was growing louder. Clark herself wasn't immune to the pressure. On the court, she endured brutal defense, elbows, shoves, and constant targeting by opponents who knew stopping her meant crippling the league's darling. Frustrated, she admitted publicly that officiating felt inconsistent, suggesting opponents got away with things others wouldn't. Fans saw their golden ticket under attack. Critics, meanwhile, claimed she was being coddled. But the reality ran deeper. The league's financial future was riding on her shoulders, and everyone from coaches to referees knew it. Every foul, every miscall, every injury scare sent shockwaves through the sport. By the time her rookie season closed, one fact was undeniable. Caitlin Clark had gone beyond basketball. She wasn't just a player anymore. She was a story, a marketing engine, a financial lifeline. She appeared in Gatorade commercials, dominated highlight reels, and filled headlines across the country. She was a girl from Iowa who dreamed big, and now her dream had become the WNBA survival plan. But dreams come at a cost. As whispers of favoritism and conspiracy spread, the line between inspiration and exploitation blurred, and the question loomed larger than ever: had the league crossed a point of no return? Executives argue that every sports league promotes its stars. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Tom Brady all carried leagues to new heights. But hey, the stakes felt different. The WNBA wasn't just promoting Clark. It was depending on her to exist in the national spotlight. Every dip in attendance without her and every ratings collapse after her elimination painted a chilling picture. Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA wasn't just weaker. It was fragile, vulnerable, and breakable. Fans began to wonder whether the league would manipulate games, push referees, or shape narratives just to guarantee their golden ticket reached the finals. The paranoia spread quickly, though much of it was unfounded. Across sports history, allegations of favoritism have haunted leagues. The NBA once faced accusations of fixing playoff outcomes to favor larger markets. The NFL has been accused of pushing marquee teams into prime-time slots at the expense of fairness. Could the WNBA resist the same temptation? With billions of dollars in national attention at stake, skeptics doubted it. The conspiracy wasn't about whether Clark deserved success. She undeniably did. It was about whether her success would be manufactured. If so, what would that mean for the league's reputation, its integrity, and its future? For every highlight she delivered, for every buzzer beater that electrified fans, the undercurrent of fear grew darker. The WNBA had found its star, but at what cost? If the league bent too far, it risked alienating its most loyal fans, those who had supported it long before Clark's arrival. If it didn't, and Clark was eliminated early again, it risked losing the casual audience entirely. It was a no-win scenario, a ticking time bomb. And at the center of